A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
This is the Daredevil series from Talladega Super Speedway, only on Turn 200. It's the biggest and it's the baddest, and it's home to Season 6, Round 6 for the second time in series history. Welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway. Here for the Daredevil series on Turn 200, it's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson. Partner, it's one of you and I's favorite places on Earth. Never gets old here on the channel, whether we're in the Fender cars or we're going open wheel racing.
Certainly never gets old. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be running the Cadillac here. We're going to be here, and we're going to be enjoying it. So very excited to have the Daredevil series back here again. A very interesting track for this car, and excited to see how this one plays out, because the last one was pretty darn interesting, and I'm excited to see how this one shakes.
Certainly, we had a double dose of racing action last week at Gateway. Let's take a look at the point standings after the road course and the oval last week. Oddly enough, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's still James Watson leading Brody Gunter by 300.
Yeah, I mean, up there at the top, it's pretty much stayed the same, as you said, even though both of them, they both had their moments last week, but with two races, they were able to even each other out. Dakota DeMade still sitting there in third. Matt Schlosser, Rhett Nichols in your top five. Kyle Allen, Joshua Rutherford, J.W. Miller, Christopher Hill, and Paul Ellison are your top 10. Of course, Hill with the win on the oval, but unfortunately had some an incident on the road course where we expected him to win more than we expected him to win at the Oval. So he didn't quite make the best of what he was hoping for, but still certainly a decent week.
And Gunter outpointed James Watson on the road course by 200 points as Gunter won and Watson finished second. And the exact opposite happened on the Oval, where Watson and Gunter both failed to finish, but Watson gained 200 more points than Brody Gunter. So it was a wash up front, I guess. DeMade loses a little bit of points, but the big gainers from last week, Kyle Allen, Christopher Hill, and Paul Ellison, all three of them had good, decent enough road course races, except for Christopher Hill. Of course, Hill with the win on the Oval, and Ellison and Allen both on the podium in the Oval race as well. So 17 drivers, at least unless we get a last-second sneak in here, getting ready to go. It was going to be a first career pole for Christopher Kresge, but Zach Amsbacher will take his first career pole position instead, as the only other driver to... Oh, let's get a look here on Corey Rutherford. He
trust
is.
me, I'm already on top of it, fella.
This is going to be the slowest. Thanks to Brody Gunter for pointing this out. I would have never seen this until you said something. Corey Rutherford is looking to set the slowest qualifying lap.
I mean, he is literally inching forward,
crawling. I was wondering what he was doing.
Look at the in-car view. Look at the revolutions per minute on the tires here.
See, just like pushing the clutch and that's it. Like what is?
I mean, I can legitimately read every letter of Goodyear as it goes by on the inside there.
He's got 15 seconds. This is absolutely captivating. I can't wait to see what this time is. 8 seconds left to cross the line. Hopefully it counts. It's going to be a massive disappointment if it doesn't count. 8 minutes and 34 seconds. 8:34, 378. Oh my God.
That is a record.
That is almost an unbeatable record, if I do say so myself. Oh my Lord. Okay. 17 drivers will get ready to go here for 55 laps at Talladega. Zach Amsbacher with a first career pole. First time back in a couple weeks. He'll lead the field to green with Christopher Kresge, who almost won here last time out a couple of seasons ago. He'll be on the outside pole. Brody Gunter, 2 wins on the season, a lineup at third to the inside of the demigod Dakota DeMay. James Watson, the current series points leader and defending series champion, rounds out your top 5 starters. Nate Siefker's back in the lineup. Siefker will roll out from 6th. Kyle Allen on the inside of row number 4, coming off his first career Daredevil Series podium last week. Joshua Rutherford ran well at the Gateway Oval last week and didn't quite get the finish to go with it. He'll line up in at the 8th position. Paul Ellison, fresh off his first career Daredevil Series podium in 9th. And last week's race winner on the Oval was Christopher Hill back at the 10th position. Nicholas Isidro is back. He's always one to be reckoned with on the Ovals. He is in 11th with Matt Schlosser to his outside in 12th. J.W. Miller will start from the inside of row number 7 with Austin Lafferty to his outside. Joshua Matacek is here at Talladega starting in 15th. Victor Aldrich to his outside in 16th. And Corey Rutherford with the quickest lap we've ever seen at the tail of this field. Matt, I'll tell you this much. I didn't give you a fuel number. This will be a 2-stop race, but, I mean, at the end of the night, it's a race at Talladega. I mean, strategy got to be on the mind, but I'm sure it's not what everybody's thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume survival more than strategy is probably at the top of the mind here for the drivers. Because if something goes awry here in the Lotus 79, there are going to be big problems for you. Chances are you will not be returning to the racetrack. So, of course, everybody has lots of room here. This isn't a very wide car. 4 wide is possible. I would love to not see that till the very end of the race, but you just never know. We got 91 degrees on the track temperature here. Not that that's going to matter a whole lot, but handling could get a little interesting if the tires get super hot here. Looking at a 2-stopper, as Tommy mentioned, on the fuel. I don't know. This is another one of those races, just like we talked about on the Oval last week at Gateway, where I think if you wanted to really push the issue and make up a lot of positions, the opportunity is there. But I think once somebody starts that, it's going to get really scary really quickly, and I don't know if they want that this early on in the race. So it will be interesting to see if anybody pushes that envelope here in the early goings.
Things will be happening quickly enough and fast enough. Things are already scary enough. I mean, it's the Lotus 79 at Talladega. The Indy cars tested at Daytona back in the late 50s. They had a race here on the schedule, believe it or not. And then they thought, oh, we'll probably kill multiple people if we do this. So they decided not to do that, which is good. It's a good thing.
That's fair.
But we get to do it here instead and hopefully not injure anybody. Just remember, folks, if you start to crash, keep your hands and fingies out of the steering wheel. Zach Amsbacher and Christopher Kresge, 55 laps tonight at Talladega. For the second time in series history, the Daredevils are on the move at the Super Speedway. Oh, Gunter and Kresge. Tight quarters right off the rip. Kresge, I think, wants to get in line because he's got no help from behind right now.
He's got a huge run, though.
Yeah, runs are going to be massive at the back of this package. We're already going 3 wide at the front of this field. I mean, one wrong move here early, and literally the entire field could get wiped out here.
And that white car, haven't seen a whole lot here this season. That is Nicholas Isidro. And if anybody is going to be very aggressive at a track like this, it is going to be the 424. And I believe he led that first lap.
Not by much. If he did, it'd be between him and Amsbacher, the pole sitter. He was held firm here down low, but Isidro, multiple times an oval race winner. Nosing out ahead down the backstretch, Amsbacher fighting back with a whole lane to work with in the middle of him. And get a good look at all this open space at Talladega now, because in about 50 laps time, there will not be much open space, if any at all.
I mean, with, these cars are not that wide. I mean, they could definitely go 4 wide in the corners. They could go 5 wide at the stripe, and I think everybody still be in bounds. So, now, will everybody survive that? Probably not, but it is possible.
Possible, but not likely. Drivers were instructed to not make passes underneath the double yellow line. Some oval tracks that we go to, passing below the apron is allowed, but we keep to the super speedway rules here. You and I did a race with the RAL Schaefer's IndyCar series here at Talladega, where they did allow passing below the yellow line, and it was messy, and it scared everybody so much that in the later portions of the race, there was not much passing at all.
Yeah, there were a couple people that tried it early, and it ended extremely poorly. I'll let you imagine in your mind what somebody stuffing it onto the apron in turn 3 would do in a couple of Indy cars.
I will say it ended worse for Matt than it did for me.
Very bad.
So plenty of respect, plenty of space given here early. I mean, the leaders are doing speeds of 197 miles an hour. Just think of what some of these drivers back in the pack are doing. We're seeing speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour. We're seeing 200 mile an hour lap times at the back of this field. That's how fast these guys are going.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're probably getting up to 203, 204 maybe on the backstretch. I mean, that is absolutely flying around this racetrack.
The 2 drivers at the front of the lines are doing most of the work. They're punching the hole. They'll get below 190 miles an hour out of the turns. Have to make all that speed back up. lightens the workload a little bit every time. Every driver behind him has to do a little bit less, but then they have to work the throttle a little bit to maybe save a little fuel or maintain the distance they want to keep.
Yeah, everybody's giving each other plenty of distance right now. I mean, there's at least a half a car length, if not more, pretty much between everybody here.
And that'll be in stark contrast to what we'll see in the later portions of this race, more than likely, where we will see drivers bump drafting one another. That is a thing that you can do. It is sketchy, but you can do it.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially at a place like this, because the back stretch is so long, and really to push in this car, once you kind of get attached, if you move right or left in just the slightest bit, you're going to get caught on the back of the car in front of you and easily turn that driver. So the longer straightaways, to me in this car, are actually a little bit more difficult than, say, a mile and a half is.
The other thought in the calculus here for these drivers is that they really don't handle the apron all that well. We saw Nate Siefker accidentally put his left side tires below the apron there in 3 and 4, and it wiggled him something fierce. So trying to protect the virtual drivers in their virtual cars as much as possible for the integrity of the virtual race. At least until the last lap. Then they can wreck each other all they want. I don't care.
Sure. Nobody's got to go to the hospital after this thing's over, so.
You really hope not. Hello to everybody that's hanging out with us. Bailey Matichek. I'm sure Joshua Rutherford is listening. Joshua Matichek checking in before the race as well. Hello to anybody else that's out there watching. Drop us a chat. Let us know what you think of it all. As Amos Spacker and Isidro still getting after it here at the front of the field.
Yeah, and Isidro took the opportunity to get to the front very, very quickly. We kind of talked about that before the race started, that the opportunity was probably there for somebody to try that. And it turns out it was Isidro, up 10 positions already to the number 1 spot. Started in 11th and literally led the first lap. So he went from 10th to 1st in that first lap. Nobody else has really tried to push the issue that much. Austin Lafferty and Josh Matichek are up 4 positions respectively. So they've made up a little ground, but not trying to get too crazy at this moment.
Oh, as Isidro's scrapping and clawing, using a little side draft, and he finally gets clear down in front of Amsbacher. Everybody is attached to the leaders still. Corey Rutherford with the all-time slow qualifying lap, still running back in the 17th position. Nothing to worry about. He's still attached to the draft. Isidro now going to have to fend off Christopher Kresge. Kresge led a lot of laps at Gateway last week. Pit road penalty, or rather a spin on pit road, took him out of the running, which, as we came to find out, almost all the front runners spun out entering pit road. So he was not alone in that. Here's one shooting up the middle. Oh, boy, that is tight there.
Oh, they look like they made a little wheel-to-wheel contact.
That was J.W. Miller rocketing into the meat in the sandwich. DeMade will roll out to give him room on the top side if he wants it, but I think J.W. is going for broke here. Kresge lets him through, and it's now driver 3 that will lead this now back to being the top line.
And
that just shows you the run you can get here.
Another big run, just like Isidro got on that first lap. I mean, Miller made up about 8 or 9 positions there in that one and led that lap. I mean, that is ridiculous.
But then you see here, JW's not doing anything different than what he just did. Well, I guess running up alongside the wall now, trying to make it 3 wide again. But he hit that air at the front of that field, and that run stopped. He couldn't make the pass on Isidro. even though that run started with him going about 10 miles an hour faster. It leveled out very quickly.
I'm curious if he just wanted to see what he can do, and now that he knows what is capable, he's happy to just kind of ride around at this point. I mean, he's up here on the top. Nobody's there. I feel like he's just experimenting at this point, trying to see what's possible and what's not. And he's up there by himself, and he's still staying pretty even here with the second line.
The story of J.W. Miller in the Daredevil series, he ran some races in the first season, and then we didn't see him again until this season. So a lot of these races at the weirder tracks, the unconventional non-RIL scheduled tracks like Talladega, he will not have a notebook on. That's why a lot of people, I would imagine, don't recognize J.W. Miller. But, I mean, he's run 3/4 of a season of the Daredevil series before, right at its infancy. So this is not quite a newcomer season, but it's certainly putting him right back in the saddle here in a big way. It's a lot still to learn, and he's done a nice job in his comeback season here in season number 6.
And he's going to be happy to tuck in here. See what's possible, just tucking in and getting a small draft and then pull it right back out. I'm happy to see not everybody is going for those moves at this point.
Well, Miller is once again. He picks off one car there. And see, that is good, useful data.
Oh, boy.
As that may have been useful data as well. As you can see, these cars not exactly planted. They are wiggling a little bit. I don't think it's anything like we see at some other ovals where these guys are in danger of spinning themselves out. But, you know, all it's going to take is one wiggle into one wobble, one driver into another, and it's everybody's problem. I don't think we won't race this out with only a handful of cars. Chicagoland Season 3.
Yeah. I'm going to say, what was it, 3 cars, I think, left on the lead lap at that point? Maybe
Paul
left
Ellison
it all.
was the 4th car running a lap down, and it was the top 3 that were duking it out for the win for, I want to say, 30 laps. It was a long time.
Here's a look inside the pack here. This is James Watson, your current points leader and reigning champ. You can hear him backing out of the throttle a little bit there through the middle of turn 4.
I would imagine as we cross the stripe to complete 15 laps, we were probably only 5 laps away from the majority of drivers coming down pit road, if not just the general start of the green flag pit cycle, as Christopher Kresge is blinking something fierce all of a sudden. I think he's back with us now.
I gotta point out, although the speeds right now, I saw 205. I don't know if this dashboard is all that correct, I guess I would say. But according to the data that we have, Austin Lafferty at one point was going 206 miles an hour.
Honestly, that would not surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I'm sure that part is correct. The dashboard was not correct there on the screen, I don't believe.
Now, probably not hitting 200 every lap.
No.
But certainly for a few of those laps where the field was tight together and then strung out once again. Probably a safe assumption that a lot of the drivers in the back are doing 203 plus. As J.W. Miller is dropping back off the top side now. Isidro continuing to lead over the pole sitter, Zach Imspacher. Freddie Gunter in third. Christopher Kresge now pushing around him on the top side to take that third spot back to Cody DeMay. James Watson fifth and sixth side by side. As we inch closer to green flag pit stops, we did only have 2 cautions here back in season number 5. Or rather in season number 4. One of them was, I think, on the second lap, and the other one was with about 5 to go. So we got a couple of rounds of green flag pit stops in. It splintered this field quite a bit. And this field is about half the size that one was. These drivers will have to be on their A game as here comes Joshua Rutherford, J.W. Miller, Paul Ellison, Corey Rutherford. 5 drivers all sharing a chat together, all in here on lap 18. Now, should point out as well, this still puts them on a 2-top beat, or rather a 2-stop beat here.
Yeah, that won't deter them from being able to get the 2 stops in and still make it to the end. I was curious how far we'd be able to make it here. I was assuming we'd be able to make it to 22-ish, maybe?
That's the number that we had in mind.
But
that will put them literally at 56 on the fuel calc, which is only a problem if we go into overtime. And for those of you that just joined the stream, calc is short for calculator. It's used in a little slang. The lap cars are entering turn number 3, or the pit stop cars are entering turn number 3 here. So they've got some distance back to the pack.
I mean, if they end up getting separated from the pack, one thing that they can do is they should be able to run out the run a little bit longer now that they're already spread out. So I don't think the fuel will really be a problem for them, although they may have to rotate that front car every now and again to make sure that front car is not going to get behind the 8 ball in the fuel category.
I think one thing that is going to work in their advantage here is the 5 of them have come down pit road already. The other 12 have not, and if they all pit at once, it's going to be messy. Not necessarily with crashes, but certainly lots of drivers slowing each other up. And as much as it's a strength in numbers thing in NASCAR, that's not quite the case. Certainly you don't want to pit by yourself, but more is not necessarily better in the Daredevil series here. Nicholas Isidro says he is pitting this time. We'll see who comes with him as these tanks are running light. Isidro will bring a couple with him. Joshua Monacek is coming in, so is Kyle Allen. And that leaves, I believe, your top 10 that have yet to make a stop. Make that your top 9.
We're thinking they may have to come in this time. If not, they have to only be able to make it one more.
Austin Lafferty seems unconcerned. He is pushing around the top side. We will have to see. No call-outs down the backstretch. That doesn't mean nobody's coming. Here come a few. We'll make that 2, actually.
Oh. And Kresge had to really get on the binders and may have dipped the tire off. That was awful close.
Not showing a penalty for Kresge, so that's the good news there. Austin Lafferty is the race leader. Brody Gunter has pulled away from the rest of his pack. I should say that's Gunter and Joshua Rutherford. Paul Ellison and Corey Rutherford have fallen back. Lafferty, DeMade, Watson, Siefker, Schlosser, Hill, and Aldrich.
Oh, wow.
And
They're going to be making another one.
wow. Lafferty and DeMade are
Lafferty absolutely blew it through there.
Yeah, that is a black flag for us and Lafferty. No question about that. So that leaves 5 now. Watson, Siefker, Schlosser, Hill, and Aldrich. That's 4 TWR drivers and Matt Schlosser. Brady Gunter and Joshua Rutherford have blown everybody out of the water. They are all packed up 2.5 seconds behind Gunter and Rutherford. Here come the leaders.
Oh, Schlosser trying to get a little extra.
Oh, boy.
Wow. That
He got a little
sketchy.
extra. It was. But they're all in.
Here's the pack that Tommy's been talking about, and there is Gunter and Rutherford. I think the pack is making up a little time here. Slowly, albeit, but
Certainly, they are going 3 wide, unfortunately, but they are still making time.
Let's see where the TWR stable comes out here.
Oh boy, they're going to lose this pack. So it is Brody Gunter and Joshua Rutherford by themselves for now. James Watson might be able to tack onto this pack.
Watson, maybe Schlosser. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to get up to speed here. And he doesn't really have any help behind him. He's kind of in no man's land. The pack is catching Gunter and Rutherford still slowly, but still surely. It's within 2 seconds now.
Lap times, yeah. Second pack made 2.5 tenths last time around. So they are catching. Once they get to about 1.3 seconds, that gap should start to dramatically close.
Schlosser is reeling Watson in here.
Okay.
So Schlosser able to hang on, but yet to be seen if Siefker and company will be able to. They look to be falling back here. And I think they've lost it.
I think the good news for them is they might be out of range for an accident that is probably going to be happening here soon. Even as this second pack is faster than the lead pack, they're still running 3 wide. Lap times, another 2 tenths. Gap is down to 1.6. And it's only a matter of time now. Great job by Brody Gunter and Joshua Rutherford. We'll see how this field is going to dispose of them when they do catch them. They catch them 3 wide. There's not a whole lot anybody can do. The least of which Rutherford and Gunter. Kresge still having some connection issues on the top side of the track.
Oh, and Kresge with a big blink there.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't stopped.
Oh, man, yeah, it's still continuing to go.
Corey Rutherford got on the apron there.
Hopefully it kind of fixes itself for Kresge. He's riding up there by himself, so shouldn't be too much of an issue for right now. He's gone about half a lap without a problem. Hopefully that continues.
At 12 blinks on that lap. That's a lot. Gap is down to 1.2 seconds. They are officially in draft range of the top two. And it's everybody back to Joshua Matacek in 12th. That will be catching up to the leaders. And we go 3 wide, 2 deep. Oh, 4 wide for just a moment. Isidro rooting Kresge out. Right as the track bottlenecks from 4 lanes to 3. And Isidro now going to pull this top line along with Kresge in tow.
Kresge almost got a nose to the bumper there, and it would not have been square.
I still don't think we're out of danger here. It is incredibly tight quarters for being just past the halfway mark of the race. Ellison will bring it back onto the track, and we are going to have a narrow escape there. Amsbacher will jump in front of Corey Rutherford now, and we go back to 2 wide very quickly.
Yeah, Amsbacher wasted no time getting down there in front of Rutherford.
Things calmed down for a second, but now Isidro pulling back to the outside of J.W. Miller to try and take it 3 wide. We're down to 7/10 of a second.
Very interesting to see what happens when they catch Rutherford and Gunter and what kind of moves are going to be made at that point. Isidro trying to make it 3 wide as they get to him, wanting to leave no room for that inside lane to move.
Wants to be on that top side if things get plugged up down low, but doesn't quite have the positioning. J.W. Miller falls in line down low, and now we are just 2 wide. He does get this run, though. Look at him go. Rutherford, I think, still the leader at the line. Not by much. So the top 12 are attached.
Well over halfway at this point.
Pit stop's only 10 to 15 laps away once again. Theoretically, for Gunter and Joshua Rutherford, they'll be here in about 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, for those guys, I mean, we saw that, you know, the rest of the field was able to stretch the fuel quite a bit further than they did, so they do have some room to go some extra if they want to. But, yeah, I mean, they could be coming down pit road. I mean, really right now it's pretty much open at this point, so... I mean, you're not going to leave yourself much for a green-white checkered if we get to that point. So I would assume drivers want to get to about 20 to go here, and then the light will be on and the chute will be open for pit lane.
I think another thing worth pointing out as well, this now the second pack from 13th back to 16th, they are closing the gap. They are now under 2.5 seconds. And lapping 2 to 3 tenths quicker per lap. That's Hill, DeMade, Aldrich, and Siefker. So if they keep on that pace by pit stop time, they might at least be within drafting range here. And they made another 1/4 of a second up just on this lap alone. And we're not done yet. There's Kresge. To the outside, Isidro. Still the leader.
Here's a look at, I mean, those drivers are not really together.
I can tell you this much. Nate Siefker ran a personal fastest lap last time around. That was about half a second quicker than what the leaders ran. They may not look together, but they are together.
I don't know. I think they just lost a bunch of time. I don't know what. Oh, pit stops are coming.
Oh, Rutherford nearly swiped on Gunter there.
Oh, Gunter, a lot of speed in there, but it looked like he may have gotten it slowed down.
Yep, it looks like he has. Gunter, Rutherford, Ellison, Miller, Corey Rutherford as well. Allen and Maid also in from the second pack.
I think with this car, I think actually being too wide is quicker than being single file, so
May very well be.
Curious to see how long these drivers let this go.
Part of what makes bump drafting so effective in NASCAR is you can send the energy physically upwards in the line. You cannot do that in this car. Here comes some more drivers down pit road.
That's Schlosser and Matacek.
Ooh, Matacek locking the fronts up, but I think he'll get away with it if he doesn't mind being a little bouncier on this final run. Dakota DeMade, from 2.5 seconds behind the lead pack, wins the race off of pit road from the first group. Talk about a time game. Holy cow.
Wow, these drivers are going to... Oh, here comes Isidro. He dropped out of that at the last second.
Isidro by himself.
Schlosser with a great pit stop. He is way out in front of those guys that already came down pit road. Matacek drops himself right in the pack. Isidro is going to hope that he has a great pit stop here.
Yeah, we're talking 6 seconds between Schlosser and the pack.
There goes Schlosser. Isidro still just now coming off of pit road, but I mean, this would put him with the other pack that's behind Schlosser. I don't know how Schlosser swung this thing.
No, I have no idea. He thought he was in for the win last week at Gateway and had trouble on the final stop.
And I'm
getting onto pit road.
Showing his pit time is 11 seconds. Dakota DeMades was 12. He must have just made that much time up on his pit entry. That is ridiculous. Now, these drivers that have stayed out, they are hoping that their pit stops are going to be even that much shorter because they'll have less fuel they need to put in to get to the end of this race. This car takes quite a while to put fuel in, so they're hoping that this is going to work out in their favor.
Lap times for the 2 wide pack is a little bit quicker than what Matt Schlosser's laying down. 49.5 to a 49.8. So 0.3 for the pack. on Schlosser last time around. But they still have about 4 seconds up to Schlosser. Things are getting wild here. This lead pack is going to have to make a pit stop here soon. Emspacher, Kresge, and Watson together. Siefker, Hill, and Aldrich together. I mean, Domain was able to snipe a ton of time from that second pack. That second pack is still getting closer to the leaders. Now they've cut that gap down to 1 second.
This is such a odd.
This is
odd
not
race.
Talladega, but it is.
No, I mean, Schlosser is nearly 3 seconds in front of Isidro. Isidro is more than a second and a half in front of that other pack. I mean,
The pack is still making time on both of them.
I have to wonder if Schlosser even has enough fuel at this point, but I can't imagine that he would have not put enough in.
Both of them. Said hello to Robin Modicek or not. Hello. Joshua Modicek, rather, is in this, I guess, what is going to be the provisional second pack? Maybe? I have no idea. But he's fourth in line here behind Corey Rutherford, Joshua Rutherford, and Brody Gunsard. Well, our two packs have merged at the actual front of the field as Christopher Hill just clocked the purple lap of the race of 48.202. He is hauling the mail, and he's trying to get to the lead before his final stop. That puts Hill, Siefker, and Aldrich back in touch with Emspacher, Kresge, and Watson. It stops. Emspacher by himself.
Wow.
Or rather, Kresge by himself. Oh, and Kresge sails it onto pit road. I think he got it down, though. Boy, that had to be close.
I mean, these drivers, as long as this pit stop goes well, I feel like they're going to be in the driver's seat here. They should not have to put much fuel in at this point. Only 12 laps to go. They're going to be able to make this pit stop much shorter by, I would think, at least a couple seconds, if not maybe 3 or 4.
Everybody moving to the bottom. This might be the lap for the leaders. Hill, Watson, Siefker, and Aldrich. They leave Emspacher by himself. Pretty conservative entries, especially for Watson.
Boy, Emspacher staying out. That is interesting. Pack has caught up to Isidro for the most part. They're all catching Schlosser. Schlosser only about 2 seconds out in front now, but only 11 to go.
Where Aldrich, Watson, Hill, and Siefker fall in line. They're all getting up to speed in front of the 400. I think they're going to blend ahead of the race leader and make a pack of 5. As Emspacher's coming in from the lead, the last car to pit here.
Honestly, Schlosser and Siefker are going to have to hustle it to get to these guys.
Yeah, I don't know if Schlosser's even going to be in this lead pack.
Wow. And we missed Emspacher's.
Yeah, what's going to help Aldrich and Watson and Hill here is Austin Lafferty, the lap car, being out in front. They're going to get toe off of him, much like what happened to Watson at Indianapolis earlier this season.
This is bananas. This was not the type of race we thought we were going to see, but boy, it is still just as entertaining trying to figure out what is even happening here.
This is more than a race, baby. It's Talladega. and Victor Aldrich is the leader with James Watson. They have both cleared Christopher Hill.
Oh,
Hill
yeah.
is out of draft range in third.
Oh, Hill is 2 seconds behind Watson and Aldrich here.
And Hill has no dancing partner right for now anyway, because Nate Siefker and Matt Schlosser are still behind. Lafferty will leave the top two by themselves now. With 9 laps to go, we'll see what the lap times are as Hill, Siefker, and Schlosser are going to try and get formed up.
Oh, my goodness.
Schlosser and Hill almost coming together there.
Are they going to play the leapfrog game here?
They might.
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard over the radio they said they have a system, and I think I know what the system is.
A leapfrog action.
And it is working. They just made up 2 tenths there through turns 3 and 4.
So for the battle from 6th on back, Amsbacher going to daisy chain Nicholas Isidro in with the rest of the pack. So they are formed up here for 6th on back. But they are well behind this second group.
Yeah, even when this front back gets all together, they just don't have enough time. And they're battling amongst each other now. They're
Hill
not really
and
together.
Schlosser. Yeah, certainly they are not making much progress currently. Siefker, Hill, and Schlosser, however, are within draft range now of Watson and Aldrich. So it is again the 4 TWR cars and Matt Schlosser that look to be in it for the win at Talladega, barring the big one in the second pack, which will trigger a caution if it comes before the white flag. Much to the dismay of James Watson for the second time this season, if that were to happen. But it's certainly a possibility.
Here they come.
I will say as well, second pack lap time now is quicker than the leaders. And I say second pack for everybody else because we are 3 wide for the race lead. Siefker and Hill bringing a huge run. They are both going to overtake James Watson. 6 laps to go.
Only 6 to go. I just can't believe it's enough time for that second group to be able to make up enough time. I mean, even if they make up 3 tenths, 4 tenths a lap, they're not going to get there.
Not going 3 wide, they're not. Kyle Allen shoots the gap.
Oh, boy, Gunter
Wow.
was just about in the middle of one there.
Yeah.
That pack is getting pretty gnarly. The leaders are hoping that there's no trouble back there, but I'm afraid there probably will be.
I think so. Lap times are still faster. But the gap is just too big. Schlosser now pulling the TWR drivers at the front of the field.
Yeah, this is going to become a game of cat and mouse. I mean, Siefker's laying way back because he knows he can get a big, big, big run if he backs up a little bit and then uses that draft on the last lap. So, I mean, if these guys start playing too much cat and mouse, that could potentially bring that second pack into this thing. I don't know. This is going to be interesting.
You keep your eyes on the lead pack. I'll be watching the back pack here. Oh, and there they go. Amsbacher, Allen, Kresge, and Gunter all with issues. Gunter gets the worst of it. And that will bring this field together for an overtime finish. Honestly, great saves by everybody other than Gunter, who I think got hit on all four corners of that car, but is still rolling. May not have needed to be a caution, but, you know, when you see three cars sideways at the front of the pack at Talladega, you kind of get a little trigger happy.
Yeah, you kind of got to throw that one.
Well, here we are. It's going to be a one-caution race at Talladega.
Here we are.
We're going
indeed.
overtime.
Let's take a look here. Oh, and that. Oh, dear. Couldn't tell quite who that was, but somebody absolutely bounced off the outside wall. May have been Miller. Take that back. It may have been Amsbacher. Kresge. I don't know if there was really any contact there, but Kresge has to get back up the racetrack into Amsbacher. Amsbacher down into Brody Gunter. Actually, I thought he pulled it off the wall. He did not. There was contact with Kresge. And then Kresge and Allen continued to make contact through the turn. I thought Kresge was going to go around as well, but somehow did not.
That was kind of my thinking as well. I'm pleasantly surprised that that was not all four of them getting taken out, but instead three of them taking damage and one car going around.
Somehow Amsbacher survived that after bouncing off of 2 or 3 cars there. I mean, that's a good piece of driving there from the 747. Although I think he's going to have some damage that will probably prevent him from having a shot at it.
Oh, and speaking of not having a shot at it, Victor Aldrich is in from the lead pack. Must not have got enough fuel in her.
I would assume a lot of the drivers just assume that we might get this whole thing in.
Yeah, we were awfully close.
So there might be a few out there that are pretty close on the fuel. At the top of my mind, one of them would be Matt Schlosser.
Yeah?
Him and Nicholas
I'm sure that's
Isidro both had much quicker pit stops, and you got to wonder if maybe the other drivers were putting 2 or 3 laps extra fuel in there than they were. I don't know. It's have to see if they're able to make this.
Zach Amsbacher and Brody Gunter also came down pit road, but the other driver that seems to be in the boat with Victor Aldrich was Paul Ellison, who was not involved in that accident but has come down pit road with Aldrich. So Austin Lafferty is coming around the pace car, and I believe this will put him back on the lead lap, so we'll have all 17 drivers good to go.
Now we have a couple of notes that we need to talk about here. As they come to the 1 to green, you'll notice that they are going to pack up 2 wide for the restart. That is not the typical protocol here in Daredevil series, but because we're at Talladega, why would you not? You know, so it will be 2 wide restarts here. The other thing that we need to mention as well would be the fact that there are no yellows thrown on the green-white checkered. So if they crash on the first lap, there are going to be drivers that are out of it, but they are going to race it through all the way to the end. Doesn't really matter what happens here in the last couple of laps. So with that being in mind, Tommy just mentioned, those drivers, Ellison, Aldrich, that had to come down pit road. I mean, they're by no means out of it, because if something happens at the front of the field, there will not be a caution thrown. If those drivers can squeeze through, they have just about as good of a chance as anybody. So nobody at this point is out of it. And Kresge is now blinking again.
Now, it's usually worse on the caution laps, but he also was blinking pretty bad on a few of the laps under green as well.
Yeah, I mean, it only really happened on that one lap badly. Other than that, it's been fairly okay. So hopefully we'll be good to go here for the last couple.
You know, Kresge wants to win this race just as bad as anybody else, if not more. So close to a first career Daredevil pole earlier tonight. He's had multiple podium finishes, including one this season. He would love to get up on the top step tonight, and it's who's to say it can't happen. We're going to run 2 laps over the scheduled distance tonight. We'll stop the clock after 57 laps at Talladega. Oh, man.
Yep.
All the strategy and posturing during this race all out the window because it is a balls-to-the-wall 2-lap shootout at Talladega at speeds of over 200 miles an hour.
That's just how it goes around here.
I suppose. We'll have lots of super speedway racing coming up in the next couple of days. Atlanta 22 tomorrow night for the Max V trucks. iRacing Super Speedway Tuesday night for the Venom Truck Series. We're at Talladega tonight, baby. It's the biggest and the fastest. Schlosser has control of the field. He fires. 2 to go.
Boy, he caught a lot of people sleeping there.
Yes, he did. That's his right to fire. Anytime after the pace car pulls off, as long as he doesn't get a penalty for passing the pace car, he's good to go. The problem he's going to have now is everybody's going to have a huge run on him. Hill and Watson straight to the outside. And they're going to be coming faster from behind.
Yeah, it takes a little bit for these cars to get wound up, so it's going to take them a minute to get there. I don't think, but the next, 5 or 6 cars will even be able to get to them, but those cars are definitely going to have a lot of momentum.
Kresge with a big run. Siefker with a big run. Here's Kresge to the outside. Boy. Kyle Allen follows. Nicholas Isidro going to pile into the top here as well. Joshua Rutherford behind. 4 wide through the tri-oval. Kyle Allen, the leader at the stripe. It bottles back up to 3 lanes now, and there's still 4 wide.
Oh,
1 to go. Kresge into the wall, but he saves it. Allen still making it 3 wide on the top side. Hill in the middle. Schlosser on the bottom. Oh, bad bump for Schlosser. Is going to free up the bottom. Watson thinking about taking it forward. Thinks better of it.
Watson, he ended up pulling back in behind.
Hill leading the bottom. Allen in the middle. They're wrecking in the second pack. Here's the dash to the checkers. Siefker going to make it 4 wide. 4 wide, no!
Wrecking on the bottom!
Around Allen! To the stripe!
Nate
Siefker by a nose. Nate Siefker by a nose. 18 1,000ths of a second over Nicholas Isidro. Matt Schlosser rounds out the podium. As Christopher Hill and Kyle Allen. Man. Still drivers trying to come to the checkers here, I think. I think Hill's give it up. Aldrich has given up. But how about Nate Siefker?
I mean, he was in a decent spot even before the caution came out. I mean, he very well could have ended up winning this race under, if we had gone green the whole way through. But, I mean, he absolutely timed that and played that perfectly to get to the 4th lane right as we're coming into the tri-oval there.
The 4th lane is what scores Nate Siefker his 4th Daredevil victory. First of the season.
Alrighty.
Oh, baby. Let's take a look at everything that went down there on that final lap.
Absolutely.
As man, there was a lot going on.
There was a lot going. I thought for sure they were going to be wrecking in turns 1 and 2. I don't know how they did not. Go full speed once again. We're 4 wide here into turn 1. It's, I believe, Allen and... Oh, no, it was Allen and Watson that made the contact. Watson got a nose in there. Somehow Kresge's able to make the save on the top, although it killed his momentum. And it was Siefker that gave the ill-timed bump there to Schlosser and ended up actually having to back off the pack a little bit, but ultimately that's what ended up giving him the opportunity to get the momentum into the 4th lane. I mean, that was just by happenstance that was able to work. Four wide again, and I don't know where that contact was with Allen. I think maybe Watson and Allen made some contact there, but Nate Siefker, I mean, really on the backstretch when he gave a slightly off-center bump to Schlosser, he backed off because he thought Schlosser was probably going to crash. And ultimately, that's what put him in a good position. I mean, that is crazy. And yeah, it was the bump from Watson that turned Allen down into the inside lane. We mentioned before, you can bump draft, but it is pretty tricky. That is a good example right there.
Definitely a little touchy.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's get to the rundown here.
18 one-thousandths of a second. As funny as it is to think, that may barely crack the top 5 closest Daredevil series finishes. It honestly might not. But that is an awfully tight finish, and it is a 4th victory for Nate Siefker. Congrats. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to Nicholas Asidra. We'll talk to Matt Schlosser, your podium finishers here this evening. Joshua Rutherford will finish in 4th. James Watson will finish in 5th. Christopher Kresge, despite getting walled there in the final lap, will come home for 6th. Corey Rutherford in 7th. J.W. Miller in 8th. Dakota DeMate and Joshua Matacek, your top 10. 11th for Paul Ellison. It is 12th for Brody Gunter. Zach Emspacher, the pole sitter, back to 13th. Kyle Allen in 14th. And then DNFs for Christopher Hill, Victor Aldrich, and Austin Lafferty, who all crashed there on the final lap. So that is your 17-driver rundown. One crash that brought out a caution here this evening, and we went to overtime for 57 laps this evening. Matt Schlosser will make up the podium here tonight. He will take the bottom step, and only by 43 one-thousandths of a second, you finish in 3rd. That is a tight 1-2-3 here tonight, but close to a victory.
Yeah, it was close. For a second, I thought I was going to win it because the guys in front of me crashed and I survived. And then I looked up and Nate and Nicholas had a run up there. So all in all, podium at a speedway drafting track is always a good result. So I'm very happy with that.
Matt, what you got for Matt?
Yeah, congrats on a good run here tonight. What did you do on that last pit stop that got you so far out in front of the field? Obviously, they ended up getting back to you, and we were behind a few that ended up coming in. But, I mean, you were like 6 seconds in front of the pack that had come down the lap before you. How did you swing that one?
When I came out of the pits, I was like, okay, I definitely did not take enough fuel because how am I this far? And I think what happened is they maybe had to like kind of shuffle around to get themselves organized. Like I was able to pit basically by myself and just really charge the pit entry, and I almost sped. So I think I maximized that. And then I was able to maximize pit exit, and I guess maybe they were just a little bit inefficient. I don't know. I was shocked, and for a minute I thought I was going to be able to hold on. And then I realized that the Team Watson cars were out ahead of me. And then we were racing amongst the five of us. Nate told me that they had already planned to conspire against me, which I don't blame them. It was 4 against 1, but it would have been fun. It would have been a fun David versus Goliath there. But the caution came out. And then, yeah, it was just I was a little bit of a sitting duck, I guess, restarting from the lead, but was able to hang on there. And yeah, the pits, to answer Matt's question, the pit cycle was, I guess I just didn't lose any time, and the others lost some time. And honestly, I thought it was going to be, I thought I might have been able to just hold on by myself if I didn't run out of fuel, but yeah, it ended up under caution anyway. So,
Well, back-to-back interviews with the win and Venom last night, and the third here tonight. Congrats on a solid run here tonight at Talladega, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to Turn 200, and thank you for putting this series on. Congrats to Nate and Nicholas on the podium. Shout out to Zach Amspacher putting on the pole. He's new to this series and just came over from Special Stage to try it out. So shout out to him. And really everyone. That was a good, clean race. A lot of really great speedway racing there. So good stuff.
All righty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight, and we'll hope to talk to you again here next Tuesday.
Cool.
All righty. Let's talk to Nicholas Isidro. It's been a hot minute, but he'll put it P2 here tonight by only 18 one-thousandths of a second. Crazy run to the checkers there, but welcome back to the podium. Good to hear from you.
It's been a while since Daredevil's been around. I haven't been able to make all the races so far this season, so it's good to put it on the podium here.
I know that second pack was working. It looked like you guys were going to run out of time there, so saved a little bit by that caution. But even on the final lap there, as drivers were getting in the wall and getting checked up, I mean, you still had to roll out of it with a couple slower cars in front of you, but came with a huge run there at the end.
Yeah, I was just trying to find a hole, trying to find a place. I think I got a little lucky with some of the other cars taking themselves out or taking each other out. And in the end, I just managed to beat out everyone but Nate. So, and he just got a really good run along the outside there, coming to the finish line. So, good result.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. Good to talk to you. I wanted to ask you about the first lap of the race, because you came from 11th or 12th, and I believe you led the very first lap. I mean, when you took the grid, was that kind of your plan to try and get the track position as quickly as possible there, or did that one just kind of happen to come upon you?
Well, the plan at the super speedway is always to get to the front so you can avoid any accidents that aren't necessarily your fault. I just didn't expect to be able to pass all those cars on the first lap. I think just everyone else decided to take it easy on the first lap, and I took advantage of that.
Well, it's great to have you back at the field here this evening. Hope to see more of you as the season goes along. Anybody you want to thank or shout out here tonight?
Not right now.
Well, thank you for the time here this evening, and we'll hope to talk to you again here soon.
All right, thanks.
Now, for the fourth time in Daredevil series history, it is Nate Siefker on the top step. How about that?
How about that? That was fun. I was actually I was a little boring in the beginning, in the middle, and that first run was boring. Just that's all I can say about it. But the second run, me and Chris had to work for it to get up there, and then we pitted, and then it was just the four of us against one, and we were ready to pick them off, and the yellow came out, and then I thought we were done. About the backstretch there on the last lap, I was like, well, I'm on 7th place. Might as well run the top here when I get there. And I got there. And next thing I know, I crossed the line. I looked down and I'm first. And I had no idea I was even there.
I mean, a little improvisation there in the middle part of the race, like you mentioned, to be so far behind and to have to work so hard to catch up and put yourself after all that in such a good spot by being able to run that long. I mean, even if it was boring behind the driver's seat, I mean, there's still a lot of gears turning and a lot of strategy having to be played.
Yeah, I mean, we gamed the system a little bit. I don't know if you guys were watching. what we were doing?
I was.
Okay. Yeah. So we were working the rules to the fullest extent of the law. What we did, I will point out, is completely legal per the rule book.
Uh huh.
We did double check
Well,
that. So,
first of all, the rule book doesn't exist, but by the guidelines that I laid out, it was not outside of them. Yes, you are correct.
so we noticed that right away. We're like, oh, he said advance, but he never said defend. He never said you
Yep.
couldn't just run it. So we were like, okay, we'll just run it whenever we had a chance, and that's what we did that second run. And then, yeah, the yellow came out. I was really looking forward. We had all four against Matt. We had a game plan. We were gonna go flying by him. We were gonna make it look cool, and then the yellow came out, and then that sucked. But still got the win. Really appreciative of Chris and all the work, and Victor too for letting Chris and I work there to catch up, and James for supporting me there and not pushing Nick Cedro across the line.
Matt, what you got for your buddy, the race winner here?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. I wanted to ask you about that last lap. You were on the bottom on the backstretch pushing Matt Schlosser, and it was just maybe a little bit off center. He just couldn't take it quite that well. But, I mean, him getting loose is really what gave you that opportunity to move up to the top and ultimately get that run there. How did that unfold from your point of view?
I mean, what you said is accurate. I don't think I would have gone to the top if I did that push. I knew I had to do that push though because of I wasn't really gonna like running fifth on the bottom. So I tried to give him a little push. I thought it would help us. I did practice it. In practice, it was doable. It was a lot easier to do. I don't know if you guys remember with the old scan. Bump drafting is a lot easier to do. So this is a little bit more harder for sure to bump draft. I probably misaligned it just a smidge. You have to be right on it. And then I backed off, and that's what got me that run. I knew that was a probable whoever was going to make a run, but I thought it was going to be wide enough. I thought we were going to go 4 wide by that point. So when I came off of 3 to see we were 3 wide, I was kind of shocked. I was hoping they just slowed each other down. I ran around the outside, and I looked into the tribal. I was P5, and when I came out, I was P1. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's great to get to talk to you again. It's been a couple months just in general here on the channel after the FSS victory, but it's your first Daredevil win in a little bit as well. I know we've been off for almost a year, but back on top of the Daredevil series for the 4th time, and the floor is yours. Anybody you want to thank or shout out here, have at it.
Well, I said last time I thought that would be my last time on here, like in a winning capacity. So now I got to do it all over again. So thank you, Tommy. Thank everyone on the team. Thank you guys, of course, for putting this on. This is a great series. I remember this back in the previous iteration of it, if you want to call it that. You guys have carried the torch tremendously. You guys do a tremendous job with the broadcast. I really enjoy watching them back. Thank the team. Thank everyone out there tonight. Having one yellow, you always worry about these races. They're going to go either green all the way and be boring until the end, or yellow fest. And thankfully, it was the right mix tonight.
Certainly was done in 50 minutes here at Talladega. That's not too shabby with one caution. So, congrats. Go celebrate the win. We'll hope to talk to you again on a Wednesday night here real soon, but go enjoy this one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nate Siefker with the dub here tonight. A lot more chess than we usually see at Talladega, but a classic Talladega finish as always. 4 wide at the line. Top 4 separated by 61 thousandths of a second. Actually make that the top 5 separated by 65 1,000ths of a second. Does not get closer than that.
No, this was a really interesting race. Like you mentioned, I mean, the chess match kind of started from the drop of the green. The pit strategy was really interesting to watch. I mean, there were drivers just coming in by themselves, and it ended up working out for them. And then, of course, in true Talladega fashion, you got to have a green-white checkered. I mean, it wouldn't be a Talladega race without one. And, that was a great run to the end as well. So, really fun stuff here tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks to all the drivers for coming out and sticking it out here. I think did everybody finish on the lead? I know there were a couple that didn't actually make it to the line, but I think everybody was on the lead lap there at the end. So pretty good stuff here at Talladega for those drivers. Shout out to Joshua Rutherford, Robin Matichek, and Joshua Matichek and Bailey Marie Matichek for being in the chat here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and they're going to get a little bit more. I don't know if you can call it super speedway, but they'll get some speedway racing in tomorrow night as well.
Definitely the new version of Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Excited for that one. We will move to next Tuesday night with the Venom Truck Series at iRacing Super Speedway. And the Daredevil Series will be back for the first time at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. By the way, for anybody in the Discord, you would have seen an announcement here this evening, or this afternoon, rather, for the Dirt 200 Special. It is the Dirt Trackin' series. It is special stage, and it is Truck 200, converging all three mediums of jumpy trucks, dirt track racing, and NASCAR trucks. 3 series for one little mini series. NASCAR trucks on dirt ovals starting in November on Friday nights. It will be here on Turn 200. And it is going to be a blast. So if you want to come NASCAR truck racing with us on the dirt ovals, come and join one of our 3 Discords, and we will get you pointed in the right direction. Yep, that announcement made earlier today. Hope you'll be a part of the fun here coming up in just about a month's time. We'll be ready to go. So that's all we got for you here tonight, though. Thank you to the drivers of the Daredevil Series, and thank you to Mr. Matt Williamson as well. And that's all we got for you here tonight. So we meet again from Talladega Super Speedway. I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Nate Siefker, your winner for the 4th time in his Daredevil Series career.